Hi guys, welcome back to my videos. Hope you're doing well. So my name is Isha and I'm a life coach, and today I'm going to talk about excusitis, the silent dream killer. Have you ever found yourself making excuses, convincing yourself that something beyond your control is holding you back, saying to yourself that I can't because this and this happened to me? This mindset has a name. Excusitis, a disease of failure. So, the term excusitis was coined by David Shaw's, and it simply refers to a behavior of making excuses for every poor performance, for not living up to our own expectations. So, it starts with a thought, I'm not where I should be, but why? Then our mind scrambles to find a convenient reason to justify this. It could be poor health, lack of education, our upbringing, our bad luck, or being too old or too young. And once we find the perfect excuse, we cling to it. We start believing it, repeating it to ourselves and to others until it becomes deeply rooted in our subconscious. Thoughts, whether positive or negative, becomes deeply ingrained through constant repetitions. So over time, you will convince yourself that they are completely true and they are the reason for all your failures. So to avoid falling into this trap of excusitis, you need to vaccinate yourself against the disease of failure. So let's talk about the common forms of excusitis and how can we protect ourselves from this common illness. First and foremost, but my health isn't good now. This excuse ranges from vague complaints like I don't feel good to more specific ones like this and this is wrong with me. Poor health is one of the common excuse for failing to pursue your goal, accepting more responsibilities, putting in the hard work required, and ultimately achieving your success. And you know what? People who constantly look for something wrong with themselves now, telling themselves that I must have some kind of illness, often end up creating that illness. It is as if they're intentionally searching for a problem, which then brings it into reality. Your philosopher living should be very careful and should be very clear that I am going to live until I die, and I refuse to confuse life with death. While you are on this earth, choose to truly live. Ultimately, your attitude towards your health will determine whether you win this battle or not. So, what is the best vaccine against this health excusitis? Firstly, refuse to talk about your bad health all the time. The more you talk about it, the worse it seems to get. Talking about a bad health is like putting fertilizers on weeds. So just stop being a chronic complainer. Secondly, refuse to worry overly about your health. The people who excessively worries about what can go wrong and keep those repeated checks on X-rays, CTs, and actually manifest those issues in their life. So keep a balance between them. Thirdly, be grateful for what your health as good as it is. There's an old saying that I felt sorry for myself because I have ragged shoes until I meet a man who had no feet. So instead of saying not feeling good, be grateful for your health as it acts as a powerful vaccination against developing those new aches and pains and those real illnesses in your life. It is better to wear out than to rust out, which means it's better to stay alive and actively living your life rather than staying idle and watching your life wasting away over time. Now, let's talk about the second common excuse that we make, but I got to have brains to succeed now. Intelligence excusitis or I lack brains is a very common phrase used by the unsuccessful people. These kinds of people suffer in silence. They will not admit this openly that they think that they lack some advocate intelligence. Instead, they feel it deep down inside. So basically, here we underestimate our own brain power or we overestimate the power of others. And this is a common reason people sell themselves short. In those challenging situations, these people think that it takes brain to do this. But instead, it's never about how much intelligent you are. It's always about how you use what you already have. So, the thinking that guides our intelligence is way more important than how much intelligence we already have. You know, you don't have to have a high IQ to become a scientist. You only need to have a keen or a high degree of interest in science. You just need to stick with something that brings your interest until it completely pays off, then the ideal intelligence, even if of genius caliber. As for stickability is 95% of ability. The only difference between the successful and unsuccessful people is the difference in their attitude, how they see things. It's never about how educated or how IQ that person may have, because knowledge is power only when put to the constructive use. So, how can we cure this intelligence excusitis? Firstly, never underestimate your own intelligence and never overestimate the intelligence of others. Know your assets and don't ever sell yourself short. Discover your talents. It's never about how much intelligence you have, but more about how you use it, constructively or destructively. Secondly, your attitude is way more important than your IQ. See the reason why you can do it, not the reasons why you can't. The difference is attitude here. Thirdly, our ability to think is of more valuable than to memorize the facts of life. So always ask yourself, am I making my mental ability to make history, as in using it creatively, or am I using it merely to record history made by others? Okay. Now let's talk about the third disease of failure, which is it's no use, I'm too old or too young for this. You know, this age excusitis. You must have met many people in your life who says, I am too old or too young to start now. I can't do what I want to because of my age. Very few people feel that they are at their perfect age. So, but the fact is, you are only as old as you feel. A person can stay productive if they stay in good shape and enjoy their work, even in their 70s. Okay, and on a rough basis, a person's productive years stretch from 20 to 70. So, calculate how much time you still have to live the life of your dreams to fulfill that deep desire that you have buried, thinking that I am too old for this. You know, it is only an attitude towards age that makes it either a blessing or a barricade in our life. So, how do you cure this age excusitis? Firstly, look at your present age positively. Think that I'm still young instead of I'm already old. Secondly, calculate how much productive time you have left. A 30-year-old still has 80% of their productive life ahead. A 50-year-old still has 40% of the best opportunity years left. And even beyond that, success is still possible. It's all about your attitude. So stop thinking I should have started years ago. Instead, say I'm going to start now. My best years are ahead of me. Okay, now let's talk about the last but not the least form of excusitis, which is, but my case is different. I attract misfortune or bad luck. How often do we hear someone blaming their problems on bad luck while attributing other person's success as good luck? You might say someone succeeded because of luck, connections, bootlicking, everything but the truth. Because the truth is that person is probably working harder, more persistent in his ways, and more effectively working. Luck is simply carefully planned and patiently executed work. Accept this law of cause and effect. When you call someone lucky now, remember that the preparation, planning, positive thinking, attitude, and execution all preceded their success. So don't be a wishful thinker. Adapt the qualities of a successful people. Doing those things and mastering it all makes you a winner. You know, Excusitis is the silent killer of dreams. The more you feed it, the stronger it gets until it controls your complete life. But the truth is, your excuses are just stories that you have told yourself for too long. So rewrite that story. Take back your power. No more waiting, no more blaming, just action. Your future is in your hands. It's up to you what will you do with it. That's all for today. See you in my next video.